gerne noch. Ja, ist das so komisch? Ach, das ist früher gemäht und das ist spät.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I've been thinking again about bees and fire towers. What would a beehive positioned high atop a fire tower accomplish? Bees would be better protected from predators, for example, skunks and raccoons. Bees would have more access to a larger surface area. This is because of the strategic and necessary position of the fire towers. They're almost always positioned on top of a mountain, a hill, or a ridge line. This is, of course, a necessary position for the fire tower to fulfill its original function, its intended function. This also means that the land surrounding a fire tower almost always slopes downward from the tower into the valley or into the crevice or the riverbed. So bees in this model have a larger surface area to forage. But does this model have a built-in inconvenience for the bees? Specifically, is it a burden for the bees to have to always fly upward, carrying their resources back to the hive, which by definition is on the top of the fire tower? The resources that they'd be carrying would be water, pollen, and nectar. I would like to point out that bees living in a fire tower will also have sun exposure earlier than bees living in a hive situated in the lowlands. Bees will also have longer exposure to the afternoon and evening sun, and this is an extended exposure to the sun, and it will increase productivity of the bees. But with that said, what am I actually advocating for? I'm advocating for your consideration. Should we place beehives in the abandoned fire towers that pepper the landscape of the American forest? Historically, fire towers were used for the identification of forest fires and the communication of this information to a centralized location, after which firefighting strategy would unfold and the desired outcome of fire suppression would hopefully occur. But with the development of new technology, fire towers now sit empty and often in a state of disrepair. Why not breathe new life into an old fire tower? Give an old fire tower a new role, a new function. Why not give an old fire tower a new purpose? A relatively safe habitat for bees to make their home. A habitat that makes use of the fire tower's unique position to shorten the distance honeybees fly to acquire the necessary resources to ensure their survival. That's all I have for you this evening. I'd like to thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, bye-bye.